as I was saying, back in the day, back in Rome, the game itself, did you have a good spec in the game? Can you remember?
Yeah, but you were obviously dodging missiles all the game. You know, it was like pretty heavy place, you know.
What was getting thrown at, like stones?
Yeah, everything, anything they could find. It was a hostile atmosphere. I remember when we got on the bus after the game, after like hours and hours of waiting, you know, getting attacked from everywhere. Got on the bus, every single window went through. Oh, it was glass down my neck. But we were all piled in the aisle. There was kids on it as well. And then we were getting to the city centre.
What was he screaming like? It's
all around us. And the police were just no help at all. So we got into the city centre, and our train was due to leave to Rimini, an overnight train, leaving at 12 o'clock. And it was about 12 when we got dropped, and we thought, I haven't got a hotel.
Oh my God.
Missed the train, and it's going off everywhere. So, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? It was only two of us then, we got split up.
Who was you with then?
A lad called John. But the great thing was we walked down the corner, and there was like about 10 lads from Seacombe, Clink and all his mates, Trafford and Richie Long and them. And they're just walking down the corners and like they're going for a Sunday stroll. There's no way, oh my God, you're here. Oh my God, wait till we tell you what's happened. And they went, oh, we just walked back with a big friend of us. We just walked all the way back to the city, no one could near us. I was like, we should have been
taking
with you.
The glass out your back,
We should have been with you, you know. And they said, you're right. We said, we got nowhere to stay. They said, oh, you can get on the floor and ours. And then we went for the bevy then. Still dodgy.
Still dodgy.
Yeah, because there's vans going.
Because you beat them, didn't you? Was it 1-0?
Well, it was on the penalties.
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah, was that the Grobbelaar wobble, was it? No.
Yeah. So it was heavy. And then you got up in the morning to get the train back to Rimini. It was like, oh my God, you know. And the pub where we've been in Rimini, where we'd had trouble before we'd even left to go to Rome, I think that had either been set on fire or whatever, because it was the English pub in Rimini. In the end, we just basically to escape and get out the country.
So when you landed in England, when you landed back in England, and now you thought, you know, you've said that was the closest that you've been to death.
Yeah, well, like my ma said to me, she said, did you have a nice time? And I said, yeah, it was quiet. You know,
you don't want to scare it to death.
You never tell your
Never tell your tales.
Yeah, but it was great. I went obviously Paris in '81.
Okay, and who's you played there? What was Liverpool playing Paris?
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid again?
1-0.
Who scored?
Barry Hubble.
Yeah.
Well, in Madrid then, see in those days, say we played Real Madrid now at Anfield, they'd fill the away section.
Okay.
The final in Paris, they hardly had any fans. We had the whole ground. We were in their end, what was supposed to be their end, but it was all Liverpool. They've only kind of started travelling them in Barcelona and the other Spanish clubs recently, you know, whereas British teams always went in en masse, you know. So yeah, that was good. Wembley, 78 at Wembley against Bruges, basically 90,000 in the crowd.
Who scored there?
Dalglish. And then you've got your defeats, and you got the madness of Heysel, 85. Which we knew we were going to lose anyway. But
tell me how Heysel, because there's a big chapter on Heysel.
Yeah, well, I mean, the score was kind of irrelevant really because of what happened.
But do you think, you know, because I have friends like yourself talk about it, the stadium was condemned, was it? Was it before?
Yeah, it was big. I remember a big hole in the kind of the concrete.
Yeah.
You'd go through, people were going out and coming back in.
Yeah.
So stones all over the floor and
just breaking up, wasn't it? Yeah.
Tufts of grass, and you'd think, well, hang on, if you're going to have the most prestigious club tournament in the world, at least tidy it up a bit, you know.
Or host it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the problem was we were in the centre, loads of people having a laugh, a few Italians there, and there was no trouble at all. Just people sitting out in the sun, getting bevies.
Just pre-game, pre-game.
Yeah.
Everyone's cheering.
But the problem was...
jovial spirits, yeah.
They had a neutral section next to the Liverpool section, where the tickets were on sale in Brussels. Well, there's a massive Italian kind of concentration in Belgium. So they obviously snapped all the tickets up. So they're all Italians right next to us, with about 200 or 300 Liverpool in there who are getting a hard time. And obviously there's
but it was crushed anyway. I thought it looked like it was overfilled.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know about crowds, but it seems it's like a domino effect, you know.
Yeah.
Because obviously when they went on the news, they just couldn't wait if it just slander English football. You know,
it's been going on for years though. I mean, you know, everyone says, "Oh, Liverpool got
tit for tat." Yeah.
Liverpool got everyone banned from Europe." Every single club that was in Europe around those years got in trouble, loads of trouble. Whether it's Villa, Forest, whoever. United were banned from playing at Old Trafford. They had to play 200 miles away from in European games, so they were playing at Plymouth Argyle.
Yeah.
But that's all forgotten about, just playing Liverpool. It's Liverpool's fault. Leeds were in trouble everywhere, you know. Everyone was in trouble.
No, being a blue, that's the banter we get, you know, we use, and there's a lot of hate. When we had the goods at the time, we were destined to win the cup, big ears. We were destined.
Don't we know, we hear it every fucking year.
Every year. It was our year.
Clive Thomas, Heysel, and you're all Norwegian. I could write the script for you if you want.
I've got to throw that in there, but Jegsy, so Heysel, because my brother was meant to go. Again, tickets, again, allocation, he was going all the games. And but there was loads of bunkers like Nicky Oates. I've read his book, he's on my Facebook as well. Yeah. And you know, he's became a successful writer and he does all plays. But in his book himself, they used to just go there without a carrot, have the best time of their lives.
Just saying, no, but you go away from the European.
Did you used to see all these people like you did?
Yeah, I know Nicky and Dave Kirby and people like that. You'd go to a European away game with no hotel sorted. Very few flew in those days. You got the Transalpino, which meant you had to be under 26, but you could bunk them or you get the rub out. You go to Myrtle, I think it's Myrtle Street or Myrtle Gardens in Liverpool 8, and you get there used to be a thing called the rub outs. So there'd be a girl working there, and she'd write your destination in pencil on your ticket.
On your ticket, pencil?
And you just obviously rub that out straight away and just put in your handwriting where you go. So we used to just arrive, but the weird thing was, before mobile phones, you would still meet everyone, and you had no hotels, so you just arrived there and just...
Match?
Yeah, you just get a hotel. You had no match tickets, you had no luggage, just a plastic bag with, I don't know, a pair of undies in and a toothbrush or something.
Pair of skids and that.
But it's weird, but you'd always met, say you'd be in the middle of Germany or something, you would go to the right pub where everyone was, where everyone met. I suppose it's the way you dressed as well. If you were walking through, say, Munich, and you'd see a lad walking past with a bit of a flick, wedge haircut, and a pair of trainers on, you go, yeah, he's a scouser there. Yeah, mate, where's all the lads? I mean, oh yeah, they're in a boozer down there. Sorted, you meet everyone. And now you think, when you've got a phone, now you think, oh my God, what am I going to do? You know, how am I going to do this? How am I going to meet someone? But you just did.
Times changed.
You just did.
Just taking it back, because I met a fella called Marty Mullins.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, he used to love going over there for the freebies, as he would say. The shops would be like flaunting, waiting to be pounced on. But that's when he said that's, you know, he brought all of the costs and the Sheenies, Feelers, LS.
Just put boxes of training shoes out, you know, not a left foot. They just play by the door, here's your training shoes for today. And people who just have rucksacks, you know, like proper camping, and just fill the bags and just walk out. And
I think that's where we get nicknamed the robbers, you know, the scouts.
Yeah.
You know, it's and that's it.
For every stereotype, there's always a slight reason, you know.
Yeah.
When someone's slagging someone off, and you can't say anything about anyone now. I think Scousers and Travellers are the last two we are allowed to have a go at now, because everyone seems to still have a go at Liverpool. And yet you're not allowed to have a go at, you know, anyone for anything now. But we're still fair game for the rest of the country. But people like Marty and them going to match, everyone was doing it. And then the whole fashion thing changed with wearing training shoes. what most people call the casual look, but to us it was the scally look.
Yeah.
And I remember the magazines are supposed to have their finger on the pulse of what's going on in Britain. And they did this thing saying, hey, football fans are now wearing training shoes, it's the way forward. This was 1985. And they said, football fans have copied off Run DMC with the Adidas.
Murder.
And Kev Sampson, who's right on the ball on these things, straight away he's like, hang on a minute. Here's a photograph of Liverpool away at Coventry City, 1978. Every single lad's got trainings on. Here you are 7 years later telling us that we've copied Run DMC. So he did a big article in the face, which killed all that.
It killed him because you get like the Chelsea's, what's his name, that he's on that Prime Amazon, one of the top boys in Chelsea, or the West Ham lads.
That should be Henderson.
Well, they did say, look, Liverpool with the sort of European leaders in fashion, and they should be...
The closest to us were the Manx. They were about a year, 18 months later. And that's obvious because the overspill from Liverpool, from that side of Liverpool, kind of St Helens, Widnes, Wallington, Runcorn, they're kind of going out towards Manchester.
Yeah.
You get a town like Warrington, which is like kind of half Scouse, half Manx.
Yeah.
So obviously the fashion's going to creep through really quickly there. So I remember, like, you know, in those days, waiting for United to get off the train at Lime Street, and we were in Lime Street going, hang on a minute, they look like us. They dressed exactly the same.
Funny, yeah.
But then with the Southerners and all that, they always had like kind of really bright jumpers on, Pringle jumpers, but the failing thing they always had was they always had an earring.
An earring,
Scousers never had earrings.
Sorry, Scousers, actually.
You know,
mate, what time you trying?
If you were like into punk or whatever, or you know, biker, you'd have an earring. But the match goers never seem to have earrings on Merseyside, but like Cockneys and all them, or Stoke and people like that, they all have. Some have like, you can hang a curtain up on some people's ears, you know, they have that many rings in.
Well, talking about earrings, here we go again. Stand by for part 3 for me, Jeff Ollerhead and Jegsy Dodd. Take care.